Hello,
Hello.
my name is Max.
My name is Max.
And I come from Germany.
I come from Germany.
Ever since I was a
Ever
kid,
since I was a kid.
I had always dreamed.
Hello, YouTube. It's a very beautiful and fresh morning today, and I'm walking with my dog, and actually I'm walking my dog in this fresh and bright morning. In my neighbor, and it's a Korean national holiday season right now. It's a Lunar New Year. 설 명절 연휴인데 아침부터 난 강아지랑 산책을 하고 있고, 영상 시작하기 전에 구독과 좋아요 알람 설정 잊지 말고 댓글 많이 달아주길 바래. 그리고 더 깊은 이야기를 나누고 싶으면 어떤 주제든 좋으니 아래 단톡방 들어와서 더 얘기를 나눴으면 좋겠어. So before we start practicing English, please subscribe and hit the like and notification button, and please join in the chat group, open chat group, so that we can discuss more about any topics. Okay, so today I'm gonna practice some English. Someone is reading a book, and I'm gonna shadow the reader. So normally I practice English with the sitcom Friends, but it's a national holiday season, so I have no time for myself in the how can I say it? in the 조용한 곳에서 나 혼자 이렇게 프렌즈를 가지고 연습할 시간이 없어서 강아지를 산책하는 과정 중에 이렇게 영어 연습할 거야. 카메라를 오래 켜놓으니까 이게 꺼지네. 아무튼 영어 연습하는 거 보고 이 책을 읽는 유튜브 주소도 있으니까 그거 내가 아래에 링크를 걸어 놓을게. 거기 들어가서 짬짬이 나는 이렇게 우리 반려견 산책을 할 때 이렇게 쉐도잉을 하거든. 막 길거리에서 소리 지르면서 다니고 있어. 주변에서 뭐 이상하게 볼 수 있겠지만, so whenever I walk my dog, I speak English. I practice English out loud. So some might think I'm a loner, or I'm a crazy man or something, but I don't care, because every day I practice English in every day makes me perfect, right? So anyway, let's start practice. Thank you.
Hello,
Hello.
my name is Max.
My name is Max.
And I come from Germany.
I come from Germany.
Ever since I was a
Ever
kid,
since I was a kid,
I had always dreamed of going to a country where I could fully immerse myself in the English language.
In the English
I studied
language.
English
I
in
studied
school for
English in
years.
school for years.
But I always felt like
But
I was
always
missing
felt like I was
something.
missing something.
Something beyond
Something
textbooks
beyond
and grammar
textbooks and
exercises.
grammar exercises.
So I decided that I needed to travel to a place where I could live and breathe English every single day.
Every single day.
After a lot of research, I decided that Australia was the perfect destination. Australia had
always fascinated me.
From its stunning landscapes like the Great Barrier Reef and Uluru, to the vibrant city life in Sydney.
To the vibrant city.
Everything about it seemed so different and exciting. But beyond the
beautiful scenery,
I wanted to be surrounded by native English speakers so I could finally master the language. I imagined myself walking down the streets where everyone spoke English, learning local expressions, and picking up the Australian accent. After saving for months and getting everything ready, I finally packed my bags and boarded the plane to Sydney. My heart raced with excitement as the plane touched down. As soon as I stepped out of the airport, I could feel the energy of the city. The air was warm, and the smell of the ocean made everything feel fresh and new. I couldn't believe it. I was finally in Australia, ready to start my English learning adventure. The first thing I noticed was the cheerful greeting of the people. As I was looking for the bus stop, I asked a local for directions, and he answered with a big smile.
G'day, mate. How's it going?
How's it going?
I was a little surprised by the casual greeting, but I quickly realized that Australians were friendly and down to earth.
Down to earth.
Even though I had learned English in school, hearing it spoken in real-life conversations with an Australian accent was a whole new experience. I took the bus to my hotel, and as I passed through the streets, I was struck by the beauty of the city. Sydney was bustling with activity, people walking around, chatting with each other, and riding their bikes. There were cafes on every corner, street performers playing music, and the sound of laughter and chatter filled the air. It was lively, yet somehow calming at the same time. I felt so excited to be here, and I couldn't wait to start my English lessons. The next day, I woke up early and headed to my first class at the Australian language school. I was a bit nervous because this was my first time studying in a foreign country, but I knew this was the perfect opportunity to improve my English. When I entered the classroom, I was welcomed by my teacher, Sarah, and my classmates. There were people from all over the world: Japan, Brazil, Mexico, and China. It felt amazing to be in a place where everyone was eager to learn and practice English. Sarah introduced herself with a smile and said, "Welcome to class, everyone. We're going to have a lot of fun learning English. Remember, don't be afraid to make mistakes.
Stop it.
That's how we learn."
Hey, stop.
That made me feel so much better. She started the class by teaching us some common Australian phrases that I had only ever heard in movies. For example, how's it going? Which means, how are you? And no worries. Which is a casual way of saying, it's all right. I had a little trouble pronouncing the phrases at first because of the Australian accent. How's it going? Sounded like how's it going? And no worries. Sounded like no worries. But Sarah was so patient and gave me lots of practice, helping me get used to the way Australians speak. By the end of the lesson, I could say the phrases a little better, and I felt a small sense of accomplishment. In the afternoon, we took a break and went to a nearby cafe for lunch. I was excited to try Australian food, so I ordered a flat white, which is a type of coffee, and a meat pie, which is a pastry filled with meat and gravy. As I sat with my classmates, I noticed that everyone was speaking English so naturally, mixing in some slang and joking around. Even though I didn't understand every word, I could feel the warmth and friendliness in their conversations. One of my classmates, Lucas from Brazil, asked me, "Max, have you tried Barbie yet?" I was confused at first. Barbie? I asked. He laughed and explained, Barbie is short for barbecue here in Australia. It's a popular way to cook meat outside, and it's something you should definitely try. Come on. I smiled, feeling like I was starting to get a glimpse into the Aussie way of life. The next few days in Sydney were filled with new experiences. I took a trip to Bondi Beach, where I watched surfers riding the waves. The sight was so incredible, with the surfers gliding across the blue water, the sun shining down, and the sound of the waves crashing against the shore. I decided to take a surfing lesson myself, and even though it was much harder than I thought, it was such a thrilling experience. I kept trying to catch the waves, laughing every time I fell off the board. As I explored more of Sydney, I visited Darling Harbour and took a walk around the famous Sydney Opera House. The city was filled with so much energy and culture. It was everything I had imagined and more. Every day I felt my English improving. I started to speak with people more confidently, and my vocabulary was growing. One evening, as I was walking back to my hotel after a day of sightseeing, I met an elderly woman sitting on a bench. She looked at me and smiled. Hello there, love. You look lost, she said in a kind voice. I told her I was just looking for directions to the nearest bus stop, and she immediately offered to walk me there. As we walked, she told me about her life in Sydney, the places she had lived, and how much she loved the city. I was amazed at how comfortable she was speaking to me, and I felt grateful for her kindness. No worries, love, she said as I thanked her for her help. That's just how we Aussies are. We help each other out. I smiled, thinking about how friendly and welcoming everyone had been since I arrived. I knew I had made the right decision coming here. The next few weeks in Sydney were like a whirlwind of excitement, discovery, and challenges. I could feel my life slowly changing. Every day I was waking up to new adventures, and everything seemed so different from home. The English language became my new world. It was everywhere I went, on the streets, in the cafes, and even in the simple conversations with strangers. I was no longer just learning from textbooks or watching movies with subtitles. I was living it. I remember waking up early on a Saturday morning, the sun shining brightly through my window, filling the room with warmth. I had no particular plans for the day, but I was eager to explore more of this beautiful city. As I made my way to the kitchen to grab some breakfast, I couldn't help but feel the excitement in the air. I had already made it a habit to learn a few new words or phrases every day, and I was looking forward to using them out in the world. I made myself a quick breakfast of toast with Vegemite, a spread made from yeast extract that's very popular in Australia. The taste was strange at first, very salty, but after a few bites, I began to like it. I had learned that Aussies often eat it with butter, so I followed the advice and added a thin layer of butter before spreading the Vegemite. After breakfast, I decided to head out for a walk along the famous circular quay. As I strolled past the Sydney Opera House and the Harbour Bridge, I marveled at how different everything felt. The streets were busy with tourists and locals, some sitting at cafes with their coffee, others rushing to work. I was surrounded by English all the time, whether it was people chatting or signs with directions. At that moment, it felt like I had stepped into the world I had always wanted to be part of. The air was fresh, and there was a slight breeze that made the city feel even more alive. As I walked along the water, I overheard a conversation between two local men talking about the weather. One of them said,
So that's it for today. Actually, I walked my dog around about 1 hour of walking, but it's a bit difficult to record the video. So that's it for today, and I'm gonna keep studying and practicing. Alright? So 여러분도 지금 내가 강아지를 산책시키기 때문에 동영상 촬영이 좀 어려운데 여기까지 할게. 영상 좋았다면 구독과 좋아요 알람 설정 잊지 말고 댓글 많이 달아주길 바래. So if you like this video, please subscribe and hit the like and notification button. So this is it. Thank you. Bye.